What if the version of you the world sees isn't even close to the one you were born to become? What if your real self, the bold one, the honest one, the powerful one hasn't disappeared? It's just buried beneath years of silence, compromise, and pretending. What if the greatest tragedy isn't failure, but never truly trying to become who you are? This is your invitation to wake up, to shake off the roles you've been taught to play, and finally step into the life that's yours. Today, we enter the furnace of one of the most dangerous minds in philosophy, Friedrich Nietzsche. A man who didn't want you to be Sartre, he wanted you to be sovereign. A man who didn't believe in self-help, but in self-overcoming. Because Nietzsche saw what most people miss. We're not suffering because we're broken. We're suffering because we're not yet whole. Nietzsche didn't offer comfort. He offered clarity. He didn't hand you a map. He handed you a torch. He didn't want you to be improved. He wanted you to be unleashed. And that's terrifying. Because what if the life you're living isn't the problem? What if the problem is the self you've become to survive it? You've been trained to behave, to blend in, to be agreeable, employable, acceptable. But Nietzsche's voice cuts through the noise like a blade. Become who you are, not who you were told to be, not who the world applauds, not who your fear settles for. Who? You. We wear masks every day. We perform in classrooms, boardrooms, even our bedrooms. We laugh when we're tired. We nod when we disagree. We say, "I'm fine," when we're not even close. We trade our fire for peace, our honesty for approval, our soul for comfort. And slowly, quietly, tragically, we begin to vanish. Nietzsche saw this. He named it. He called it slave morality, a system designed to shrink your instincts, flatten your desires, and reward you for being small. But you weren't born to obey. You weren't born to blend. You were born to break, to question, to stand apart. You were born to create your own meaning, not just inherit someone else's. That's where Nietzsche introduced his most radical idea, the Übermensch, the overman. The human being who overcomes, not just hardship, but themselves. This is not a superhero, not someone above humanity, but someone beyond mediocrity. Someone who looks chaos in the face and says, "This is where I begin." The Übermensch doesn't wait for permission. They don't ask what's normal. They don't need to be liked. They need to be true. They don't beg the world for meaning. They create it from the ashes of who they used to be. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." That why doesn't come from your boss, not your parents, not your followers. It comes from within, from the still, fiery center of who you really are. So how do you get there? How do you become who you were born to be? You stop following. You start facing. The hammer and the mirror. Nietzsche's philosophy isn't a gentle whisper. It's a strike. He famously described his own work as philosophy with a hammer. He wasn't talking about destruction for its own sake, but about testing the foundations of everything we've been taught to believe. He saw that many of our most cherished moralities, our deepest comforts, were built on lies, on resentment, weakness, and fear. He wanted to shatter the false idols you've been worshiping, the idol of comfort, the idol of safety, the idol of being liked by everyone. He wanted you to look in the mirror and see not the self you present to the world, but the one you've been hiding from yourself. This is the central paradox. We're afraid of what we might find, but the true terror is living without ever looking. The problem with passive existence. Think about your day. How much of it is an active choice versus a passive reaction? We are constantly reacting to alarms, emails, social media notifications, and other people's demands. We live life as a response. We say yes to invitations we don't want to attend, work on projects that don't fulfill us, and chase goals that aren't even our own. This isn't living, it's being lived. Nietzsche called this the will to power, not a will to dominate others, but a will to master oneself. It's the intrinsic drive within all life to expand, to grow, to overcome resistance and become more. When we deny this will, when we shrink ourselves to fit into a pre-made box, that energy doesn't just disappear, it turns inward. It becomes anxiety, depression, and a gnawing sense of meaninglessness. We are starving our own souls. The cure isn't a new diet or a new app. The cure is the courage to embrace your own will, to power, to choose, to create, to forge your own path, not just react to the one laid out for you. It's about moving from a state of being managed to a state of being masterful. Step 1. Embrace the chaos. Nietzsche wrote, "One must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star." That chaos, that restlessness, that confusion, that fire in your chest, that's not weakness. That's potential. It's the unshaped clay of who you could be. Don't run from it. Don't numb it. Use it. Too many of us treat our internal chaos like a disease. We medicate it, distract from it, and try to force a calm that isn't authentic. But your truest self isn't a sterile, perfectly organized room. It's a forge. It's a storm. It's a wild, untamed garden. The seeds of your greatest creation are in that turmoil. The courage you need isn't to eliminate the chaos, but to learn how to dance within it. Think of it as raw energy, a river that has been dammed up for years. The purpose isn't to make the river stand still. The purpose is to break the dam and direct the current into something powerful. Step 2. Stop asking for permission. You don't need to be told you're ready. You don't need a certificate to be authentic. You don't need applause to speak your truth. You need a decision, the courage to disappoint others instead of betraying yourself. Every time you wait to be chosen, you reject yourself. How many of us are waiting for a sign, a promotion, a partner, a big break, an okay from someone else? Nietzsche would call this resentment the quiet bitterness of the person who is too afraid to act on their own and instead blames the world for not giving them a chance. This is a profound trap, because the moment you stop waiting for permission and start giving it to yourself, you claim your life as your own. You become the author, the director, the star. The world doesn't applaud you for this at first. It will often push back, because your freedom is a challenge to its comfortable order. But the cost of that applause is your very soul. Don't just ask if you can. Ask if you must. Step 3. Forge your own values. Don't just believe what you were taught. Question it, strip it down, rebuild it. Ask yourself, is this belief really mine, or was it planted in me? Am I chasing my dreams or someone else's expectations? Most people are walking blueprints, carbon copies, rehearsing values that never belong to them. But Nietzsche challenges you to go deeper, to create meaning not from life, but into life, to become the sculptor of your soul. This is the act of creation itself. It's not about inventing things out of thin air, but about becoming conscious of the values you've inherited and making an active choice about which ones to keep and which to discard. It's about building your life's code from the ground up, with every line of that code a reflection of your deepest, most authentic self. It is a terrifying, exhilarating process. It's the difference between being a character in someone else's story and being the hero of your own. The ultimate test, eternal recurrence. This is where Nietzsche's ideas become truly radical. Imagine a demon came to you and said, "This life as you now live it and have lived it, you will have to live once more and innumerable times more, and there will be nothing new in it, but every pain and every joy and every thought and sigh. All must return to you, all in the same succession and sequence." He asks, how would you react to this news? Would you fall to your knees and curse the demon? Or would you say, "You are a god, never have I heard anything so divine"? This isn't a prediction, it's a thought experiment. It's the ultimate litmus test for the life you are living. If you knew you had to live this exact life, with every mistake, every moment of fear, every regret, over and over for all eternity, would you be filled with dread or with profound gratitude? If your answer is dread, it is a sign that you are not yet the person you were born to be, a sign that you have work to do. The goal isn't to live a perfect life, but to live a life so fully, so authentically, so true to yourself that you would willingly choose to live it again and again and again. The Übermensch is the one who can face the chaos of eternal recurrence and say yes with an unwavering heart. This work is not easy. It will cost you comfort. It may cost you your old identity. It may cost you relationships. It will definitely cost you your illusions. But it will give you something priceless, your freedom. Ask yourself right now, what part of you is still hiding? What truth are you afraid to speak? What life are you postponing because someone might disapprove? Because the person you were born to be doesn't live in the shadows. They live in your choices, in your courage, in your willingness to be seen, fully and without apology. Becoming is not a destination, it's a discipline. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real. Real with your wounds, real with your wants, real with the wild, powerful truth buried beneath your people-pleasing. And if something in you is stirring, don't ignore it. Don't overthink it. Answer it. Subscribe. Like. Comment with the version of yourself you're ready to bury and the one you're ready to finally become. Because this is Mind Paradox, where ideas don't just live in your head, they transform your reality. Nietzsche didn't want you to just think differently. He wanted you to live differently. You have a choice. Follow the herd or become the person you were born to be. The call has been made. Will you answer it?